Hello, hello. A spontaneous stream. I thought I'd do this. I don't know why, but here we are. One reason is that a little while ago, I got an email from somebody who wanted me to answer a question. And I tried to make a short little quick off-the-cuff video, but it didn't really work out. And I'll read out the question that this person asked me, and I thought it was an interesting one. I'm guessing some people might go through this. People maybe like that are creative. So he says, "Hey human, I'm about to turn 30 in July, and I have a lot of ideas, and I feel like I struggle to focus on a direction. I have written some music, I'm in the process of writing a poetry book, have been coming up with recipes for a food truck, have a dozen different brand ideas to work up with my graphic design skills, and I have a project car or two that I would love to build even though I don't have the skills to do it. How did you start, and where did you start? Which idea did you follow first, and how did you know when it was time to either abandon it or persevere through it? Regardless of which you took, how did you know it was time for something new? What cues were you reading in the room of your life that you took to heart, put into action, and made a move? How did you know what to do, and in what ways did you learn to trust yourself to be willing to risk making a decision even when the path was unclear? I appreciate any perspective anecdotes you're willing to share. Thank you for creating videos, blah, 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 and your thoughts have been thoroughly inspired. Jacob. Now, I can identify with this because I've got a lot of interests. I've got a lot of hobbies. As you see, I've got a YouTube channel. My main hobby is drawing, storytelling, and illustration, right? I'm a visual sort of person. I'm an artistic person. And so I've got that. I fiddle around with music. I play music. I put music together on the computer, so I'm not a classical kind of musician, but I love arranging music and making tunes and things like that. I love writing, comic books. So there's just a lot of things that I wake up for, and it's really fun to have a lot of things in your life that you love doing, especially if you've got free time. If you live on your own, you don't have any friends, and you can do anything you want and you're happy in that life, sometimes the downside is you've got too many things to pick from and you kind of just dip your toe in everything. And if you can enjoy them without feeling like you're wasting your time, then that's fine. But a lot of people have, I would say one or two, but usually one thing that they kick themselves that they can't keep pushing the can forward down the road. And that's what I want to talk about today. This topic, how do you choose when everything feels important? As Jacob said in his message, he's got a lot of things he wants to do. He writes music, he writes poetry, he's got recipes for a food truck, brand ideas, graphic design skills, a couple of project cars. And he's saying, how does he know which one to pursue? How does he know which one to let go of? How does he know which one's the one? And all I can say is you have to try playing with a few. You have to actually do them. You have to tinker with them. What happens with most of us is that we think about them too much. We don't actually scribble in those areas. You know, you're not playing with fixing a car. You're not trying to complete a recipe book. Have you finished any music? Have you completed any written pieces? Have you painted a picture? Have you completed a project? Have you done something to completion so that you know if that thing is close to being something that you want to continue to do long term and it keeps generating other ideas that you want to do with it? Too many of us, we're kind of weekend spectators that just dabble in it. We kind of hold a thing in our hand, but we don't actually create anything with it. An example is in an area that I like, cameras. A lot of people buy cameras and they want to do things like YouTube or create like little vignettes and movies, but they don't actually do anything. So if you're not actually doing, the doing part is the important one. So if you're not doing, how do you know what the one is? If you've got a lot of ones that you play with, then you're going to frustrate yourself. What I tend to do, when there's a lot of things I can't choose, and I've got a lot of hobbies, but you have to separate them into two areas. This is what you have to do. This is what I suggest you have to do. You got all your hobbies and all the things you want to do, right? You have to split things into two camps. One camp is the most important thing. If someone held a gun to your head and said you have to choose one and get rid of everything else, there's no ifs or buts. You have to choose the most important one, and you have to let go of every other hobby. You just have to, and that's the only one you're allowed to enjoy. If you had to choose one and you know which one it would be, if you're honest with yourself, that's the one you put in the serious camp over here, and over there you put all the rest. And all the rest you can categorize from first, second, third place, right? They're dessert. They're your hobbies. But then you've got your serious passion or your serious thing that you want to achieve. And you can switch these over, but you can only have one in the serious camp. The one that you schedule, the one that you take seriously, and the others are fun. They can't all be serious and fun. You'll never get anything done. And if you just want to play around with them, that's fine. But then you've really got no right to get frustrated at yourself that you're not doing all of them. Put one in first place, put one in the serious camp and attend to that. You can switch it over. You can later on say, look, I really want to finish writing this, or I want to paint a picture. Okay, you take the art, you put it in the serious pile, the one thing that you give yourself a time frame to do. And a lot of people don't want to regiment themselves and make a choice. And I see this time and time again. Again, I'm not perfect. I love to play around with a lot of things in my life. But if you don't commit, and this is a problem a lot of guys have online as well when they talk about relationships, if you don't know what you want to commit to, it's going to be hard. You'll just float around with everything. So you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice to commit to something. Put it in the, this is the most important thing in my life camp for now, or if it's a person, for a long time. And attend to it as the most important thing. And then everything else is still important, but in the fun camp. I get to it as dessert after I've checked off the important thing. And that's as simple as I can put when I really am sick of making excuses in my own life and trying to dabble in everything and get nowhere in anything, is that I have to say, okay, I'm taking this fun, most interesting thing that I want to do, I want to finish, I want to take seriously, I want to make something out of, I'll put it first. A couple of years ago, I would say 4 to 5 years ago, you'll notice on my channel there was a time when I was uploading between 3 to 5 videos a week, full videos, introspective, written videos, and I put YouTube in first place above everything. And I wanted to get a lot of things out. It was the most important thing in my life. And I was just spilling over with ideas and I was obsessed with it. I put that in the serious camp of I am doing this amount of videos minimum a week. I'm engaging every day. I'm checking my emails. This is going to be my second job. In essence, it was like 2 full-time jobs, doing my YouTube channel and my full-time job outside of YouTube. But you have to place one as your most important hobby or serious hobby. And all the rest are dessert. You get to them when you check off your first one. Some people do that with exercise and training, or what they do in the morning. They wake up and they check off a run, they check off reading or journaling, or whatever the hell you do, right? You check off one thing that's important and you do that. And once you checked off that, you feel like you've achieved something. Then everything else is fun. Go do and have fun in the other things. You might actually progress in those. You take the pressure off it because you tell yourself those things are fun and this thing I take seriously. But if your mind is attached to 5 or 6 things that you're taking seriously, and it's impossible to take 5 things, to give the 5 things the attention they deserve, you're better off one at a time giving them the attention they deserve. So that's as simple as I can put it. I wanted to, I think, make a stream out of this because I tried to make a video and I was never happy with it, but I wanted to kind of have a discussion with you guys, what you guys think. Hi to the regulars, Big Ol, Space Cowboy, how are you, dude? He says, choose what gives back to you the most. See, until you do something, a lot of people say, well, I don't know which one. As Jacob said to me in the message, he doesn't know which one to choose. He wants to choose one, but he doesn't want to make the wrong choice. And I can sympathize that, but at the same time, if you don't really know which is in first place, play with all of them until one feels more important than the other. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people just talk and think and don't really try to complete anything in those areas. So they won't, for instance, they won't go to the gym. They won't make a decision to say, okay, I'm going to the gym at least 3 times a week. You don't have to be a professional or an athlete, but you don't make the decision to commit to 3 days a week. You just say, well, I bought a gym membership and I'll go when I feel like it. You buy a sketchbook and a pencil and you say, well, I'll draw when I feel like it. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you prepare with everything, you set it up, but you don't actually give anything a scheduled time where it's important enough to check a box. So you do it habitually through the week, and you can do it every day. You can do it once or twice a week, but you have to consider it important enough to schedule it in. And if you don't, then just admit that it's just entertainment or it's just fun or it's a hobby. But you can't complain that you're getting nowhere in anything and you're frustrated when you don't actually try and commit to any one of these things. Put one thing in first place, just one. Space Cowboy continues, the things I wanted in my 20s, I don't want in my 30s. Yeah, and you will never know unless you try one of them out. Unfortunately, the problem with online as well is that it's just too tempting to scroll all day and watch and be entertained and not be a person that creates. So you watch a lot of other people's creation and a lot of people living life and vlogging and taking photos and videos and amazing stuff that you share around, but you don't actually do any of that. You don't go out and film yourself. You don't, like, even if you don't film yourself, you don't go out there and experience even 1/10 of what you're watching. Even if it's just you and there's no one going to watch a video, you don't have to film anything. And I think it's too comfortable to watch other people living life that they happen to record, or they went to the effort to actually record it for their social media channel. You're watching other people live life. And so you're never trying to do any one of these hobbies that you love, just to see if you can live any one of these things, even just a little bit. And that's what I would suggest to Jacob. Big Ol says, I have around 10 skills I want to develop: piano, touch typing, learning a language, etc. They're the kind of things that require daily practice, but I can't do them all every day, can I? Yeah, I would say again, pick the one that's the most important or that makes the most sense that you see. Like if I focus on this or schedule this in, say for instance, language, you can't do it in a rush now. It might need to be over long term, or your health. But other things where you think you just like to do them, but they're not really going to help you, and you really can't see them leading anywhere. They just might be something that you enjoy ambiently on the side, and that's fine. Not everything needs to be serious, but you also can't have all of these 10 skills as you're dreaming of manifesting them into some sort of thing that you get good at. The truth is, we only get good at one or two things, and they take a while to keep practicing and practicing. If you never practice any, you'll never get good at anything, and you'll never spend enough time with it to see even if you like it, to know if you want to waste any more time getting good at it. This is what happens to a lot of people, is that if you don't try, you'll never know. And sometimes if you don't try, it will always be in your mind thinking, one day I'll get there. I'm always interested in doing this. I'm always interested in traveling there. I'm always interested in creating this, right? And you never get off the starting line. And it's something that can occupy your mind for decades. And then, say in 30 years, you finally get to try and you think, I don't even like doing this. Why did I waste so much mental space holding it in my head for 30 years? You're better off trying and then discarding it because you've just tried it. There's so many things that when you actually touch them in the real world and try them, you just realize that the fantasy was much better than the reality, and this is nothing like what you thought it was going to be like. And that goes for people, things, places, hobbies. I've often said that everything in life is a relationship, not just with people. What you expect, your expectations of people and expectations of hobbies or where a hobby will lead. Again, I give the example of cameras. I watch a lot of camera videos because I'm always interested in cameras. But there are so many people, all their channel is buying a camera, talking about why they bought it, and then the very next camera is why I'm changing, why I'm getting this camera because it's better. And you never actually do anything with it. It's always the anticipation. Unfortunately, having a whole bunch of hobbies is just chasing after a dopamine fix. The anticipation, that's what you love. Waking up, and it's great to wake up to a lot of things. You wake up looking forward to things. That's awesome. I do it all the time. It's a great feeling. It's a lot better than waking up to nothing. Not being inspired to do anything, not having a plan to do something, not having a holiday come up and thinking, oh, great, I can work on this. That's great. But if it's just, I'm just going to relax and just see what I feel like doing, that's good too. But then you have no right to regret later. I mean, it's not true. You have every right to regret. I can't stop you from regretting. But it's pointless. And there's so many people, they get over 50. They get older than me. And the last decade of their life when they can't move and things are awful and, then they know the end is near. It's like I shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's cliche, yeah. But everyone's... I'm making this video. I want to make a video. I was writing about it today. I'm sick of all the talking. And I know I do a lot of talking on my channel, right? But the internet's full of podcasts and experts and everyone pretending to know everything and talking. And when we talk, we don't talk that much about what we've done. I did this and this is what I discovered. I did this. Instead of like, studies show, did you know that yeah, I watch the internet too. I watch stuff. But what have you actually done? What have you tried? What have you discovered? You don't hear much of, contrary to popular belief and what everyone says, I actually discovered I did this and last week this happened. And this is what I found out about the world and other people and about myself, about this hobby, about not many conversations like that. Learning Korean has been a better reality than fantasy for me. So glad I formally started studying it this year. Yeah, good. It's practical. It's amazing when you start doing it, you actually enjoy it. Sometimes and often the imagination of you imagine yourself doing something or somewhere or traveling something, and you create this story and narrative in your head. And when you get there, it's completely different. You feel like you're alone. There's nothing worse than feeling like, oh, well, this hobby or this person or this thing that I want to do, I want to move here, and my life's going to be so much better. It's going to be so colorful. All my problems will be solved. All my questions will be answered. And you do it. You go all in instead of trying a little bit or, doing it sensibly, and you feel like, what have I done? And I can't go back now. So, yeah, all this talking and planning, it goes so far. You really have to, with baby steps, try it out in the real world. You want to get better at being not being so shy and finally speaking your mind and telling people no, and being a bit more social. Start with small steps. When you go to the supermarket, say hello to the person at the checkout aisle. Just very, very small things like that. Learn to listen better. With your hobby, if you're finding it hard to sit down and write for 5 minutes. If you're finding it hard to lose weight or get fit, instead of buying a gym membership for a year and brute forcing your way through doing it, just start going for a walk, do push-ups every morning. Just say, I'm going to do 20 push-ups or 15 push-ups every single day. Small, but great benefits. So give yourself a taste of the things that you say you love, of the dopamine that you're going towards, and then just see if it's real. Because we spend too much time online and talking a lot and imagining what could be and what will happen when we finally get to the thing we think we want to do. Anthony says, there's nothing wrong with having multiple passions, but there's only a certain amount of time in the day. So as long as the end result isn't a big deal, then the time it takes to get there won't matter. That's true. Some people have lots of ideas, but never actually do anything about it. When someone is all talk, you begin to ignore what they say. Action needs to match words. Yeah. I got sick of there were certain areas on YouTube and online where they're interesting to a point, but when you try and put one foot in reality and try and look at problems and issues from different perspectives, not from a biased perspective, not just from my perspective, but if I want to solve it and see it in 3 dimensions, I have to see it from various points of realistic viewpoints. Obviously, if someone has a ridiculous point of view that doesn't subscribe to reality, then it's stupid. But it's only by actually seeing the problem or issues in 3 dimensions and touching them and making them real that you can actually see if they mean anything or that you can solve them. So, yeah, people who are all talk, you ignore what they say. Groups, individuals, and even, think about this, your hobby, the idea of you think, I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to get to drawing one day. It's all talk. It's all in your head, right? It's not real. Try it. Otherwise, just ignore it. Not ignore it, but make it real or make it go away. So that's my bit of advice. I just wanted to do a quick impromptu stream because I know there's a lot of people from the US. I think you guys are waking up. This is your morning. And also because answering this question, I just felt like it's more suited to a stream and a bit of a discussion. Maybe I should have prepared this and given you guys a couple of days head start like I usually do on my Sunday ones. But I just thought, fuck it, let me do a midnight stream before I go to bed because I got a few things to do tomorrow. Nothing beats doing. Nothing beats doing. I'm sick of the world being all talk. Everyone's an expert. Everything's podcasts. Everything's politics. Everything's offense. Everything's in here. Everything's talk and thought and feelings, and very few people know the liberation of actually doing and trying. You don't have to achieve anything that's kind of applauded by the masses, but try in your own life. Try and do something that you get something out of. Try and make a hobby real. Try and find what you want to put in first place and second, or maybe switch in first place, but have something you don't just look forward to doing tomorrow, but through the day, a few times a week, you actually touch it and do it. So that's what I wanted to say today. I don't know if you guys have anything to offer Jacob as well, where you've got the problem of so many things you enjoy doing, so many plans, so many dreams you want to do. You don't know which one, but you're worried you don't want to pick the wrong one. You don't want to waste years. And I would say some people don't pick because they don't want the fantasy of possibilities to go away. But for me, you get older and you're more frustrated in spinning the possible fantasies over and over and over again, and never having a relationship with any of them, never experiencing them. The holiday, the bucket list that never gets checked off. Especially if you could do it every day. Like if they're simple things. Like I want to see if I enjoy fitness or rowing or swimming or joining this group or this club, or I want to learn a language like some of you guys said. I want to do this. I want to try that out. Sorry, my voice is going. I don't know why. I can't drink coffee at this hour as well because I'm about to sleep. The night shift, yes. So I don't know if you guys have anything to say about this or what advice you might give Jacob about many things to choose from but never choosing anything. It must be frustrating. It's kind of like I have too many interests. What do I choose? How do you choose when everything feels important? I could have done anything, so I just did nothing. That's what it comes down to. I had all these things I could have tried and had fun with, and I did none of them. I tried none of them. I improved nothing about myself. I read all this information, I absorbed all this information, and I just talked and talked and talked online, and I read this stuff, and I've got brilliant quotes I can bring out at barbecues and dinners, and I'm very clever, but I've done nothing. I can't talk about these things from experience. I can only talk about them from research. You know what's it's as sad as? Being someone who loves drawing and art, it's the art critic that talks about art all day with a black skivvy. It's like, this is what the artist was really trying to say. Really? How about we talk to the artist? And I just feel like people with so many things they want to do, it's this frustrated art critic who never picks up a brush, a pen, or a pencil. Yeah, look, big old, I can relate to a bit of what Jacob's saying. It's wonderful to have these things that you want to do. It is far better to have at least one or a few things that you look forward to getting up in the morning and your mind's buzzing and you have these things. It's a blessing to be able to have things that you're either good at or want to do. There are a lot of people today, you watch a lot of this kind of nihilistic, these perspectives, and a lot of people just don't have any hobbies. The whole world is a bunch of girls who don't have any interest. Have you ever been on, here's me pulling it back to the anecdote of dating. You meet people, what's your hobby? What do you like to do? Nothing. I like watching movies. I like shopping. It's like, what do you like getting up for? Well, maybe, okay, shopping, but if it doesn't require money, if you can just get up and do anything, enjoy anything, why aren't you having fun with it? I think a lot of people are worried that the reality won't match the anticipatory dopamine fantasy. Or one day if I can draw really well, that would be great. Or one day if I go to this country. I've looked at all these videos online and I watch these curated vloggers and it looks so much fun. Might not be. Might be better. I remember, just as a side example, the only thing I used to know about Holland is I've seen a few YouTube videos about Amsterdam, you know, those little canals and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, quaint little place, looks okay. It's only when I went there and met Stephanie, it was better than I expected, something different, and I thought it was okay. It was completely different, and I love the country. I haven't traveled much, but of the places I've been to Nepal, Bangkok, and I've been to a few places. Holland is number one from the places I've been to. So unless you make them real, you will never know. And I think a lot of people don't want to be disappointed. It's why a lot of people love just staying online and, you know, swiping left and right on dating apps, because choosing often feels almost like a letdown. A choice means, okay, you're negating the world now online and all these other options. Making one choice means you have to negate everything else, which is why I suggest put one of your hobbies and interests first and learn to pause everything else and kill your darlings, at least for the moment, and commit to one thing. Make it important for 1 hour a day, or it's the serious thing this week, or for however long you want to complete something in that thing. You might immediately find out, I've got 2 left feet in this thing. I don't even like this hobby anymore. Wow, I'm glad I tried it. Great. Throw it away. Then you can try something else. But unless you put something in first place and negate the rest, shut the door, pause it, or at least leave it for dessert after you've completed or attended to this thing the way you said you would, unless you take it seriously, it's all just it's all just bullshit. It's just all talking and what I could have done, and I could have been this if not for this, and yeah, it's all complaining, victimhood. The fact is that most people can do much more than they complain about that they can't. And limitations and lack of options is actually a good thing if you give yourself those self-imposed ones. Just take things off the table, minimize your choices to the choices that you want, and actually choose them. So I hope that helped, Jacob. If anyone's interested, I'm using the GH7 with a 12mm Leica f1.4, Samsung Q9U microphone running through Rodecaster Pro and streaming through OBS. All right. I've always had a love-hate relationship with social media. Maybe it's because I grew up in the 90s. Even as an introvert, relating the world felt more natural. Yeah. I was a 80s/90s kid. Actually, no. I was a young adult in my 90s, but I was a child in the 80s. Yeah, I think I was an 80s kid. But yeah, my concrete set before social media warped everyone's reality. Yeah, I know people who just want to talk and fantasize, but actually do nothing. Yeah, all the complainers, all the people that just go on and on about politics. and about what people did, and did you know this is this, the statistics say this, and the thing you need to invest in, and what's going to happen in 5 years, and blah, 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 blah. It's all these people talking about the past and the future. You have to choose something now. Know who you are now. Know the opportunities you want to give time to now. Now is all you... I don't want to get too woo-woo in this, but really, if you just keep intellectually pontificating about prognosticating about what's going to happen tomorrow or like in the future where none of us really know, you don't know what you're going to like. You can only choose and do stuff now. Put your hands on something, try something, know who you are through this moment of doing stuff and choosing things. Know what commitment looks like. Know what you look like through the commitments that you choose so you get better at choice. But you can't plan and look to the world to help you make choices all the time and you never try. You have to trust yourself making choices. I hope that makes sense. I think too much before I do something important. Must be because I live in that fantasy to could have it done. Yeah, it's also not trusting yourself. So that's why, like, have fun with your projects, but choose one. So then you get used to knowing what it feels like to choose something and then trusting the choices. You get better at trusting them. But start trusting your choices with low stakes of your hobbies. Pick something that speaks to you the most. Someone said this before, that you want to, that's always in your head. The thing that's always saying, yeah, I want to do this, and it's never leaving your brain. Put that in first place. Try it for a week. Chip away at it. You might find that it's nothing. It was just a straw man, and you can get rid of it because you've tried it. You know, and now it's not real. Whereas if everything's got a possibility and you never try anything, it continually haunts you. These 5 to 10 things that you always want to do, that you're tinkering with, they're going to be haunting you of always being the one. Try them out so you can eliminate the ones that aren't the ones, so you know what it's like to choose what is for you. I mentioned this before where I went through kind of that midlife moment that most guys and girls, or especially guys, go through in my early 40s, where I was tired of my old life and I just kind of cleaned the whole room of my life. It's like I'm just making it all minimal, white. There's nothing in here. I'm even prepared to throw away every single hobby that I love, that I hold dear. Every single food that I say is my favorite. Everything, you're all not safe. All of my things that I hold dear, I'm prepared to throw you all in the bin and have a funeral with everything. Even with drawing, which I never thought I would. But I honestly made the choice, like even drawing, I'm going to clear everything out and then start putting things back in my clear room now when I got rid of all the bullshit and I want to be real with myself, what suits me now. Drawing stayed. I'm grateful it did. I thought it might, but I wasn't sure. I was prepared to be just honest, even with anything that I thought was, well, this is me. No, nothing's me anymore. I'm starting from a blank slate. And you have to kind of just keep making honest choices. You have to. You can't think about what is the best choice. You can't overthink. Sometimes you even know that you've thought about it from the most reasonable angles, that you can try it. And if the worst thing that happens is you waste a couple of hours, at least you get it out of your mind and you never have to worry about it again. You clear your brain space to think about less, more important things. But if arbitrary things keep stacking up and you just keep adding things to your mental bucket list that you never get to, you just become a person that regrets too much later. And you become a person that doesn't know themselves, that doesn't know what choices they want to make, that they know they should make. Everything is an attractive choice to you then, which is not very, very good. Hey Landis, how you going? Isn't MGTOW nihilistic? I don't know now. It never used to be. MGTOW just used to be a guy. more mature guys back then just saying enough and talking about their legitimate grievances and wanting fair treatment, and tired of being used and having expectations of the world, and trying to make better choices and actually go their own way, and figuring out the most rational way each individual can do that by just having a really nice feedback loop with the rest of the guys in the group. But now I feel like a lot of the pickup artist community just kind of moved into that space, and now it is, I don't know what it is anymore. But I'm proud to say that I turned my yoga practice into a habit. It's pretty rare that I won't do it every day. Yeah, good for you. I have loads of hobbies. I'm crap at most of them, average at best, but love each one that I do. I don't need to be perfect. The goal is just to enjoy the process. Yeah, again, if you're happy with having a lot of stuff that you tinker with, there are guys who just tinker all day with something in the garage or in their study or in nature with a camera or with their hiking boots on or whatever it might be. But if you know you're secretly pissed off and frustrated that you're not checking some of these things off, you're not progressing in any of them, then attend to that. Yes, I do. Social media has a big effect on people's actions, but social media makes it super attractive to just chase dopamine, which means you never actually do anything. You just keep getting an endorphin hit of anticipation and chasing and scrolling. So you're always just moving towards the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, but never actually choosing one thing and doing it. You're forever moving. That's the thing with social media. It's always FOMO. It's always a moving target. Nothing stays still. You're bored, no attention span. So it's not a good place to get conditioned to actually do anything in life. Social media has conditioned so many people to just be a spectator and feel terrible about themselves, because we know our lives every Tuesday is looking like the last one, and nothing's ever done. You can only do one thing at a time. Start with the first thing on the list. After 2 months, you'll know beyond any doubt if you really want to pursue that. Yeah, sometimes you'll know within the first day or week. Because a lot of things that you anticipated that you really want to get good at, or you want to see if you click with it, you'll know almost immediately. Even if it doesn't click, you'll feel persistent because you just want to find out. But some things just feel like you're cross-dressing and you don't like it. Yeah. Look, there's nothing wrong with being intellectually curious. I am, but you need to make the distinction of what's fun, what's a hobby, where you're just expanding your knowledge and learning a lot of stuff. But just because you know a lot doesn't mean you're an expert in a lot of them, or especially you're not a practical expert, which is a true one. Yeah. If you're not prepared to give something time and honest go, there's your answer. Yeah. It's all talk. It's just all talk. I got this quote from Stanislaw Lem in Solaris, and I remember it because it sums everything up like this. It sums almost everyone's frustrations in life up. There are no answers. Stop talking and gathering information. There is only choices. There are no answers. There are only choices. And if you never make a choice, there's the answer. It's your fault. Try to do it. Fumble through it. Thinking and talking and podcasts and talking and politics and, oh my God, offended like this. Did you see what they said? I don't care. I don't care anymore. Especially as you get older, you just don't have time for endless talk that leads nowhere. Endless someday. No, it's going to be today. I'm going to try, and I'm going to get it out of my brain. I want to have less things that I regret. Yes, if you're single, you may even meet. You probably will. most things in life, if you chase them, hobbies are different things, but people, sometimes if you chase things head on, you don't actually get what you imagine. So with people especially, you chase women, you might get some women, but you won't get the women that are suited to you. You're better off living your life, and then you'll actually see the women or the friends that are suited to you. Unfortunately, people choose politics as their guide over personal relationship. Exactly why people are stressed. Yeah, and I think people not intentionally, because I don't think that they're self-aware. They'll choose the big things like politics, the environment, saving some obscure animal on the other side of the planet. These big projects like, men and women and whatever. It's a convenient distraction, so you don't have to attend to the simplicity of the most important thing, which is your proximal life. So it feels like, whoa, I'm dealing with the big issues of the world. Surely if we fix them, then it'll trickle down, and my problems in my life will be just fixed instantly because I will have solved the biggest, most complex problems. No. Politics and those big problems, they never get solved. They are a huge moving target that never sits still, and tomorrow it's something else. Today you think you make progress, and tomorrow it's like a completely different map, and you have to start from zero again. SJ says, congrats on the marriage. There's a newer YouTuber. He needs a girlfriend. I'm hopeful he meets someone through his channel like you did. Cheers. Yeah, why not? Look, again, and if you're going to be honest on your channel, at least the person sees your hobbies, how you talk. They see you as more of a real person than just an idea. You're not just someone talking in the comments. You're not just a person that's... And this is the thing that I don't like when guys romanticize ideas too much. They get off on Batman like, be the idea, don't be a person, as though it's somehow heroic. Don't be real. Be this archetype. Be mysterious. No, that's too female for me. I never liked that in Batman. I didn't think that was good writing because Batman was about the only mainstream comic book character that I actually liked, because I'm not into superheroes. And I thought that really isn't Batman. I'm going to be the idea. No. That's stupid. Once I start something and give it 170%, people quit talking to me and start watching me. I think they want to be there when I fail and want to see it in real life. Yeah, same with me when I got married. And I still get it now. Is he still married? Divorced? I'm waiting with bated breath until human gets divorced. LOL. Keep waiting. I don't care. At least I did something. Boxing, yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people, when you step out of the group of talking and bullshitting and feeling like you've got all the answers for the world and then turning up the next day and you just do it all over again, after a while you feel like I'm with a bunch of nerds in the clubhouse thinking that I'm a superhero and how I'm the best in the world is shit. It's the same when people complain about rich people, what they should do and they need to do if I was them. Or this is one that most guys can relate to. You're watching basketball, you're watching sport, and you're yelling at it and saying, well, why don't you just get it in the goal? If I was playing, I could do it easy. Yeah, your theory sounds easy. Try doing it. Yeah, I bet you can't. When reality hits, that's all that matters. I never knew I would take a liking to fishing until co-workers invited me to fish. Yeah. If something's like, yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. You know, that's great. If you know you don't like it, that's different. I like pods or audiobooks, and I am doing stuff, Jim. Too much life to live, yeah. Thoughts and Minds is next. Anyway, this was only supposed to be half an hour, but it's getting to an hour now. I'm going to go to bed. But yeah, I thought I just wanted to say this and do off-the-cuff stream. And yeah, hope you guys had fun. I'll catch you next time in a video or a stream. And yeah, have a good night. And catch you later. Bye.